shot at me. So I felt like it was a little bit of jealousy.
No, I just didn't give an F. That's all.
Cool.
Just didn't give an F about it at all.
Yeah, but when you said in the comments,
up,
you said something there. I think he's an attention seeker. So even with the racist comments, even with the homo stuff that he was doing, I think he's just a big attention seeker. He gonna do anything to get attention on him, and I think it's gonna backfire come January 31st.
Stylistically, he believes he's the best, and I know I'm the best, and that's why we're getting to this point now. He wants to challenge himself. I'm here for it. I'm here to challenge myself every time.
Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez gear up for their January 31st clash as the boxing world watches closely. Precision, discipline, and elite defense collide with raw power, confidence, and aggression, making this confirmed showdown one of the most talked about fights of the year.
It's cool. He's supposed to feel that way. Like, he's supposed to say the things that he's saying. He's not saying nothing out of the ordinary or something that I didn't expect. Only thing that I kind of took away, he got on a podcast, I want to say, he said that I was slow. And that's the part where I'm like, okay. He's going to be very surprised come fight night to where it's like, you really thought I was slow? Like, is that something like you put in your brain and thought it was about to come out?
Heated press conferences set the tone as Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez come face to face, with Teofimo's father jumping into the exchange. Shakur points out weaknesses he believes exist in Teofimo's game and dismisses the southpaw argument, stating that records mean nothing without elite opposition. Teofimo's father fires back, questioning Shakur's resume and insisting he must prove himself on the biggest stage. The back and forth grows tense with raised voices and sharp remarks. The moment feels chaotic, personal, and intense, adding extra drama and pressure ahead of the January 31st fight.
I'm not none of them fighters. I think that he did some great things against them guys. I seen a lot of weaknesses in his game too, and something that he said earlier, he said, Teo never lost to a southpaw. Well, I never lost to an orthodox. So it ain't no different, but
the difference is you never fought no elite fighter.
Okay, I don't think y'all did either.
Oh, so you gotta show it, baby.
I don't think y'all did either. I ain't see.
Not on my son.
I ain't see Lomachenko throw no punches.
You never been on a big stage like this.
I didn't see Lomachenko.
Eddie Hearn praises Shakur Stevenson, calling him highly underrated in terms of his abilities and accomplishments. Despite his success in both the amateur and professional ranks, many fans and analysts fail to fully recognize his technical mastery, speed, and ring intelligence. Hearn emphasizes that Shakur's consistency, adaptability, and determination make him one of the most impressive boxers of his generation. He believes the world is only beginning to appreciate just how exceptional Stevenson truly is.
Shakur is massively underrated in terms of his achievements and his ability. Everyone in boxing knows how good Shakur is. He is pound for pound top 5 in terms of quality. But look at the achievements of the young man. At 28 years of age, he's already a 3-division world champion. This is to become a 4-division world champion. Quite remarkable. And Teofimo always rises to the occasion. Sometimes you see a little bit of a lackluster performance when he's not motivated, when there isn't kind of any legacy on the line. This is different. This is a sold-out Madison Square Garden between two of the elite fighters of our generation. And the best thing about this fight is we're seeing...
Roy Jones Jr. breaks down the matchup while speaking with Shakur Stevenson, focusing on adaptability as the key factor. Roy explains that fighters who move well can create serious problems and that adjusting to movement is often the toughest challenge. Shakur responds by saying he plans to stay versatile rather than relying on one style. He explains that he is prepared to move, use angles, or stand his ground if necessary to secure the win. Roy praises Shakur for showing flexibility in past fights and says those qualities create the best matchups. He also notes that Teofimo can be dangerous when focused and capable of making in-fight adjustments. According to Roy, the outcome depends heavily on mindset, preparation, and execution. If both fighters are locked in, it becomes a high-level chess match. Roy encourages Shakur to maintain his confidence, hunger, and winning mentality.
I think you have a masterful foot game as well, and I think that's probably what's going to be the hardest thing for him to adjust to. So how do you think he's going to adjust to that?
I don't want to give out too much.
Okay. All right.
But I mean, we all know he had problems with people that move around the ring. He wanted people that stand in front of them, and he could pick them apart when you stand right there in front of him. But I plan on doing. I mean, I'm not gonna say the game plan, but I plan on doing a little bit of both. I don't
I got you.
plan on doing moving around. I don't plan on just standing in front. I plan on doing everything that it takes to win.
And I do applaud the fact that you did, like Andre just said, you did show people that you are versatile. You can do whatever is necessary to win a fight. This is the best, in my opinion. These are the best type of fighters to see. And Teofimo has shown sometimes that he can also be versatile and he can do whatever's necessary. Just sometimes he seems to have mental issues that go.
Analysts have been discussing the state of boxing over the past month, highlighting how promotion and hype often fail to match reality. One major point of criticism is how some highly anticipated cards, such as the February 2025 event, did not live up to expectations. Fans labeled it the best card in boxing history, but injuries and pullouts ruined the lineup. Shakur Stevenson ended up facing an unknown opponent while several top fights fell through. This raised questions about promotional strategies and the credibility of hype. Analysts also point out that DAZN and The Ring failed to properly promote Shakur Stevenson's latest fight featuring Teofimo Lopez. Despite the potential for an exciting matchup, poor marketing and unrealistic fan expectations caused confusion. On paper, both fighters are elite, but without proper promotion, even great fights risk being overlooked, highlighting ongoing issues in the business side of boxing.
But then, to do that and then not even promote the fight, this is a cool fight. I don't understand. Like, to me, it's a bit bizarre because the fans came out and they were like, man, Turkey, he's taking over the game. Remember last year, about a year ago, in February of 2025, he had the card with Better Biev and Bivol and whoever else was on it. And the card was announced and people said, this is the best card that we've ever seen in boxing history. Then the fight card came. Shakur's opponent pulled out, Floyd Schofield. Daniel Dubois pulled out of the fight, right? Because he was sick. And it wasn't this legendary card that people talked about. You know what I mean? And people, no one even says that now. Before they were talking about like, oh, it's the best card boxing's ever seen. And then the card happened and it kind of just came and went. It wasn't the card that they said it was going to be, put it that way. So that's the point I'm making in this video is like a lot of the preconceived notions that you guys put out, not Boxing Ego. I ain't put that out on my channel, right? But a lot of the stuff y'all said turned out to be cap. Here's the card in question, bro. They're like, this is the best card we've ever seen. And then half of the fights, two of the top three fights didn't even go off as planned because of injuries and sicknesses and pullout. And Shakur ended up fighting an electrician that no one ever heard of except for UK blokes. You know,
Floyd Schofield sent a controversial message to Shakur Stevenson, questioning the legitimacy of the hype surrounding him and other fighters. Schofield criticized the idea of fantasy matchups, pointing out that neither Tank Davis nor Shakur has faced the top 4 opponents of their era, despite fans calling for those fights for years. He emphasized that many of the matchups being discussed are unrealistic and don't reflect the reality of boxing. Schofield also addressed comments about fighters' physiques, stating that body type or build does not determine skill or success in the ring. He expressed hope that Shakur faces strong opponents like Khan before moving up in weight, stressing the importance of embracing real challenges rather than avoiding them. By calling out fighters who shy away from tough matchups, Schofield aims to promote accountability and respect for competition. His message serves as a reminder that records and hype alone do not define a fighter's legacy.
Shakur haven't fought none of the top 4 of his era for the last, how many years they've been calling for them fight these dudes not fighting like that. So that's fantasy fights, thinking, oh, Keyshawn gonna go all the way up and fight Devin. And man, that's fantasy stuff. That's all that stuff is. And
you even said that he was like cut up and shit, you know what I mean, on that, what you said, snack?
Nah, I said I respect. Oh, do you mean a thick? What you talking about?
Keyshawn.
Yeah, Keyshawn got stocky. He got stocky, but he gotta Stockiness don't mean nothing. Stockiness don't mean. I hope we get to fight Keyshawn before he go to 147. 140, Keyshawn would be a good fight for Kid. I think
Oh, is that why
Keyshawn.
you upset?
I think huh?
Is that why you upset because he's leaving?
I'm never upset. I'm not upset telling the truth about these guys leaving and running. I said it years ago what was gonna happen. People told me I was lying. Oh, y'all capping. Y'all ain't gonna fight Keyshawn. I said, Keyshawn ain't fighting us. I said, Shakur ain't fighting us. Yeah, we lined up for Shakur. We didn't pull out. It's a fact. Why won't we get the fight when he got out the hospital? It wasn't his fault. He trained hard. He did everything else. Somebody tried to kill him. And the toxicology showed that. Why wasn't a real champion want to give this young man a fight who really stepped up to the plate to fight him and went through all this adversity to make it there, and somebody poisoned him? He deserved a shot to fight. But that wasn't like that there. And it's for a reason. So, I found out this shit is just smoke and mirrors, man. Has nothing to do with boxing. Has a lot to do with the money made behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I know Shakur better step it up, or that's boring for boxing. So they're not gonna keep him. Even if he win, if that fight continue to be boring.
Analysts AK and Barack break down the upcoming Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez fight, highlighting the contrast in their journeys and mindsets. Shakur is described as intensely passionate, driven since his amateur days to be the best in the sport, and now aiming for pound recognition and a place on boxing's Mount Rushmore. Teofimo, while extremely talented, has faced setbacks including personal struggles and lapses in motivation that at times made him consider stepping away from boxing. Analysts note that these challenges could either fuel a chip-on-the-shoulder mentality or create vulnerabilities against a focused fighter like Shakur. They emphasize Shakur's consistency and competitive edge, sharpened through years of high-level training and sparring with elite fighters like Terrence "Bud" Crawford. Teofimo's recent return to his love for boxing and strong performances against top opponents suggest he is ready for this high-stakes clash, promising an exciting and unpredictable showdown.
He's a kid that has always wanted to be considered the best in the sport. From the amateurs till now, he wants to be pound-for-pound top dog. He wants to be on Mount Rushmore, so on and so forth. Teofimo, I feel that he's had that passion, right? But he's had lapses to the, at times where he thought about even quote unquote retired and said he was done with this game. He's had, sometimes, at times issues with his father that, they've been able to reconcile and move on, but kind of lost some passion for the sport because of the way he was treated. Now, I don't know if that helps you because it creates this chip on your shoulder as a fighter to keep continuing to prove the world wrong that you are one of the best, or if it psychologically affects you against a guy like Shakur.
Yeah, I think a guy like, when you go against a guy like Shakur reminds me of Bud Crawford. You can't have those lapses. You can't have that kind of mindset. And I think, Teo's been very vocal about the things that he struggled with. And, he was going through a divorce and all of these things were making it really, really hard for him to focus on his first love. But that's the thing. Recently, he said he came back to his first love. He remembers that this is what got him everything he has. And he's back in love with boxing. And that's what we've been wanting to hear. And when we see a Teo like that, he's sharp against Josh Taylor. When we see a Teo like that, he's sharp against Lomachenko and also willing to fight all these guys. Now think about this. I know we call big, heavy punches the boogeyman, but usually the boogeyman is the guy that's hard to beat. And Shakur, nobody